It's 10 o'clock now. I want to welcome everybody and thank you all for joining us this morning. We're recording and streaming live on Facebook. So if you're not able to stay with us for the whole time, you can go back and listen to the rest of the recording later. Or if you have any friends or colleagues or associates who weren't able to join us this morning, they'll be able to view the recording at a later time. So what we're doing this morning, my name is Lauren Mason. I'm the planning manager for Southeast Rural Community Assistance Project, or SERCAP, because wow, what a mouthful. And I'm so pleased to have so many folks join us this morning for this Q&A. What we're going to do is I'm going to introduce our panelists briefly, and then we'll just jump right in with questions. If you could please type your questions in the chat feature, I will be monitoring the chat box and asking the questions for everyone. And so I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner of the screen and introduce Jean Holloway, who she is a SERCAP staff person. She is our state manager for Delaware and Maryland and provides technical assistance to rural communities and wastewater facilities in the Delaware and Maryland areas. I've already introduced myself. I'm going clockwise around the screen. So in our top right-hand corner, we have Randy Welch, who is also a SERCAP staff person. He's a technical assistance provider in North Carolina, also working with wastewater facilities and rural communities. And we are really excited to have Leanne Cromitis, who is an associate professor with biological systems engineering at Virginia Tech, is also joining us this morning. So thank you so much, Leanne. And then we have Kenny Rogers, who is a rural housing specialist here at Southeast Rural Community Assistance Project. And he works with individual low to moderate income homeowners and will be able to provide insight on individual household wells and septic systems. And then we also have our fearless leader, Hope Cupid, who is our president and CEO, and she will be joining us this morning to provide her insight as well. So with that, I don't see any questions yet in the chat box. So I would like to start off, just to get us kicked off this morning, with the question, what is the biggest obstacle facing rural communities in 2020?
Hello, everyone, and thank you all, everyone that joined us this morning right after Thanksgiving. This is Hope Cupid with SERCAP. I want to just start the conversation because that's what I think that we are doing today, and I know that the group that I'm very fortunate to be with can engage us. I think one of the main things, the biggest obstacle facing the rural communities now is definitely broadband. We see that what has happened with COVID and more people are having to stay home and having to have access to broadband to work, to shop, even to shop has been a tremendous burden. I saw an article in the Roanoke Times of a family sitting at the grocery store, a mother and two children, sitting outside the grocery store to access broadband to do homework. That is outrageous. So I think we as a country need to make certain that we provide access to broadband for all people in our country. The other thing is obviously what we are here for, make sure everyone has access to clean drinking water. That is another major issue that is also associated with COVID. If you cannot sanitize and keep yourself clean, you may end up actually contacting the virus just because of that, because of sanitation issues. So anyone else want to chime in and tell us what you are seeing in rural America? We can tell the fine folks that are watching us.
Well, I'll start, Hope, and I will echo what you're saying. Broadband is such a huge need that I see all across the regions. One community that I work with, the public library, there was parents sitting and filling the parking lot of the public library for people to actually come and do homework with. So broadband is a huge need across rural America. Another issue that places are getting faced with, especially these communities, is financials. With COVID and the lack of being able to pay their utility bills, towns and communities are taking a huge hit just from financially. And that's something that places are struggling with as well.
And if I can chime in, I think it boils down, all the issues boil down to dollar signs, simply because the rural systems have fewer customers over which to spread out the costs of operation. They're farther apart, so it costs more to run services to those rural customers, whether it be broadband. And I myself can't get broadband where I live. I'm a mile off of a highway, but I can't get broadband because there are only like 5 or 6 customers in that mile, and they won't run it for those few customers. So it comes down to dollar signs as well as population and numbers. And then after a while, it becomes an equity consideration, equal access to services.
And I will just echo the exact same thing said by everyone. And one of the interesting things is that the lack of availability of broadband internet access can actually limit the technical solutions possible. So when you have small rural drinking water, wastewater services, there have been these really cool new ways of monitoring, kind of, just you can access your water quality anytime. Everything just goes to the cloud. You can't implement those kind of solutions or those kind of management strategies if you don't have broadband. So it's kind of a double, you can't fix the water problem because you have this other infrastructure problem.
Well, and I don't think any of those issues exist in a vacuum. They're all interrelated, to be sure.
Well, thank you all for those wonderful responses. We are starting to get questions from our attendees. So the first question in the chat box is there a website link that describes SERCAP services? And yes, there is. If you go to our website, sercap.org, and click on the Get Assistance tab on the menu bar at the top, and then there are a drop-down menu, and you can click on 4 communities or 4 individuals, and it shows the programs and the services available for both of those potential clients. And but we're very excited because we are currently in the process of revamping our website. So come end of January, early February, we're going to have a new website with even more information available. So the next question is, what is the beginning process for a homeowner to apply for SERCAP? What information should they provide to qualify? Kenny, take it away.
Certainly. So here at SERCAP, if you're talking about as an individual, and I take it we're talking about a homeowner here, we have a universal app that we'll need to get completed. And with that universal app, we're going to want to know their income, we're going to want to know their expenses, we're going to know their ownership of the property, we're going to want to know if they have their taxes paid and taken care of, and we're also going to want to know about their insurance. Because if we're going to provide funding to help take care of the home or the family, we want to make sure those other things are in place so that everything is taken care of properly. And that's part of the requirements for some of our program funders, that we have all those things in place to make sure that the property is properly secured once we expend money to take care of the funds. So if you can get those basic things, that will be a start, and then we can get detailed. When we do send the application, there's actually a checklist that goes with it that lets you know these are the items that need to be returned with the application. And if you have a question about those, for our department, we have a housing coordinator, Ellen Smith, and she can help you take care of that. For the loan fund department, they have Sam Samardi. He can help you take care of what you might need on that end for the well, septic, and home improvement loans. And if you're going to be dealing with that critical needs grant, you would be able to talk with Angela Whitfield, and she can let you know what additional items you may need for that one. But that's just a start as to what we need for anyone to get funding from SERCAP from the homeowner stance. Now, from the facility development side, we'd have to ask you to talk to Andy Crocker about those items, which are, for communities and localities and cities.
If I could just add something to that, there may be programs that are specific to each state. I know in Delaware, we have some specific programs to help homeowners test their wells, to help them pump out their septic that's been, if they've been affected by COVID. So there may be specific programs in other states where you would talk to the state office as well.
That is correct. And I think all those can be picked up from the website, correct, Gene?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so if you're in a different state, it would be to your best to reach out to that particular state person to find out what additional things you may need.
And I believe we're also pumping out septic tanks in Franklin County and Pennsylvania County in Virginia and on the Eastern Shore as well. I see Amy is in the call, and if she could just maybe jot something down so people can know about that. It's important to get the septic tanks pumped because if it leaks, it gets into groundwater, and that could cause a health issue as well, or any backups.
So our next question, we have an attendee who says they're only familiar with SERCAP offering support for on-site septic and well services. What else does SERCAP do aside from that? Hope, would you like to take this one?
Well, sure. So thank you. And that was from Brianna. Thank you, Brianna, for your question. And I'm going to let Lauren finish it because she does an amazing job with all of our grants and programs. So in Virginia, please note that we are located in 7 states. And as Jean mentioned, she's from our Delaware office and Randy's from our North Carolina office. But in Virginia, we have a lot of other programs. We have lending. We have lending services where we offer home improvement loans. We also offer well loans and septic loans. And then on the lending side for utilities, we offer community development loans. So we want to make sure that all of those are used. And Kenny mentioned our facility development program. What that does is that helps localities with their water and wastewater infrastructure needs. We also, a part of that program, offer individuals any assistance that they need with, hey, replacing your hot water tank. You are at home now, so I bet your appliances and your hot water tank especially is probably being overused right now. And if you meet our qualifications, we can assist with that. We also will repair your well and septic system via the grant system, but also know that we can combine the loan and grant in Virginia to assist you with that. We also have a program called ELI. That's something new for us. I'm really excited about that. It's the Entrepreneur Learning Institute. And what we're doing with that program is we're helping people that have been hit by COVID to relearn and think like an entrepreneur and look for opportunities within themselves to create financial streams of revenue. Because a lot of folks are misplaced now. Their jobs may not come back. And we want to help people in that situation. We have a Volunteers for Communities program. What that program does is we work with rural communities. We have a list of college students or colleges that work with us. They go to our host sites and they go out and actually help the communities rebuild, clean up, anything that the community wants to do. I remember an elementary school where they actually painted a mural on the elementary school, and that was really interesting and nice to see. And the children, well, I shouldn't call them children, college kids, really enjoy working and helping the people. We had the college kids, they want to live like the people live in rural America. They want to see that experience and experience it. So they rough it out for a week and go home and have everlasting memories. The other programs, our biggest programs are our rural water and wastewater programs. We have our TAPs, which are technical assistance providers, and they provide technical assistance to rural communities on their water and wastewater. And also we do recyclables with certain systems, and then we look at runoffs. So anything dealing with that and helping to approve that. And I think they can chime in and tell us more about what they do for that once we get to that part of it. And other programs that we have are housing. And Kenny did a good job on speaking about the housing programs. The one program that I didn't hear us mention was our housing counseling. So as we also are going through COVID and people are struggling with paying their rents and mortgage, we can help counsel you to get you back on track. That is something that we have been asked to do across Virginia, and we're looking to grow that in our other states as well. And we also have a new program where we are building and acquiring homes that have been foreclosed on, so we can rebuild and put a low-income family in those homes to help them become a homeowner. Anything else? Yeah, we have a lot of programs. I think we have over 25 different programs that we do. So please visit our website for more. And you can also contact Jean, Kenny, and Lauren, and Randy if you need any more information. So Randy and Jean, could you please just let the folks know about our water and wastewater programs that we have throughout the region?
Go ahead, Randy.
All right. Thank you, Hope. That's a good overview of SERCAP. And our water and wastewater industry is something that is very, very predominant. As Hope was saying, it's probably one of our largest programs. But we take that need of these communities that are struggling with the water and wastewater piece of it to help them get clean, safe drinking water to these communities. So that, as we're working that with the communities, we're working close with a lot of our lenders. Lenders meaning mainly like USDA, it could be EPA, different funding sources that we tap to get funding as, grant and loan to help these communities extend water and sewer to these areas that are underserved and don't have the privilege of going to the tap and turning it on and having clean, safe drinking water. So, we push that throughout our 7 regions to make this happen.
If I could just add, my own personal approach is that, we act as problem solvers. We help them. We're not there to tell them what they should do. We're there to help them figure out what to do and how to do it and help them find the money to do it with, be it water or sewer. We do everything from rate studies, which is kind of my forte, and Randy's for that matter. We do a lot of those, but we also help them find funding. We write applications. We do a number of things, up to and including what I call hand-holding. If there's a project that a lot of these people are part-time and they don't have the professional experience to deal with these huge amounts of money and grants and so forth. So we help them through that. We write RFPs. We basically try to do what they need us to do.
And Jean and Randy are being very modest. They are the experts. We have a lot of people calling us constantly wanting to speak to these two about how they can help their communities and lend their ear to help other people within the RCAP network to learn. How can I not say anything about Leanne? We work a lot with Virginia Tech. I am very happy about our friendship and relationship with Virginia Tech. And Leanne, I know that we've done testing of wells, and that's WELLS, guys. I know I have an accent. It's not the well in the ocean. So, and then we also are doing a grant with VEE this year that we're working on. So, Leanne, would you like to add anything to the discussion?
I saw Amy Pemberton put in the chat about this VEE grant that involves septic tank pump out in Franklin and Pittsylvania counties. And as Hope said, that's very important because often if a home or a community is on septic, they're also on a well. So it's not just that the septic could leak into groundwater and groundwater could go off somewhere. That groundwater is what's also serving your drinking water. And the really fantastic thing, Virginia Tech's long-term relationship, and I would say also mentorship by SERCAP at times, because there's a wealth of information and expertise and community contacts here, means that we can create partnerships. So Virginia Tech also has a VEE grant focused in the same counties, focused on wells and drinking water. So since SERCAP is doing the septic, Virginia Tech's doing well, we decided we would connect. So communities or individual homeowners who are interested in that pump out program, we're actually going to partner then, or you have the opportunity to then partner, not just get your septic tank pumped out, but also have your well water tested before and after. So you can see and kind of have that peace of mind and that knowledge that the water that you have in your home is safe and that it's a resource that you can continue to rely on. And that is totally just because of our long-term partnership.
Yes, that's true. And thank you so much. And I do believe in that. We cannot do this alone. This is definitely something that all of us need to work together. Thank you, Lauren, for giving us that time.
Well, can I say something too?
Oh, sure.
So I'd like to add, they were asking about what else we do, and being in the housing, I think I talked a little bit about housing, but I like to expand on the fact that we do have this new program called IPR Flex, which I'm excited about because, in times past, a lot of you might be familiar with the Indoor Plumbing and Rehabilitation Program, which was designed for low to moderate income homeowners who had a failed septic system, no indoor bathroom, or no potable water. And in times past, we'd have clients that would call us and say, hey, my well's great, my septic system's fine, we got an indoor bathroom, but my roof is collapsing. What can you do? And we had no funding source to take care of that. Well, now we have the IPR Flex program from DHCD, which will allow us to come in and help fix and repair that roof of those homes. So we're kind of excited about that program and getting that involved for the homeowners. And at the same time, the big issue with lead also, DHCD is adding the lead program to our IPR Flex program so that when we go into homes now, we can help with the roof and the paint and the crack chilling paint, even if they don't fit the IPR basic criteria, having no septic system or no indoor bathroom. So we're excited about getting that program implemented in all the projects that we can. And so we're constantly looking to implement that program. And I just finished another Zoom call with the Habitat from Charlottesville, where we're trying to work together with other organizations to get projects done, because as we all have just said, it's a partnership for everything that we do. And we're trying to find ways to partner with as many people as possible to get warm, safe, clean housing for everybody.
Thank you so much, Kenny. And you when you mentioned that, you also 2 more programs, Lauren, and then I swear like I said, we can go on and on. Guys, in Virginia, and throughout our network, but we're going to start in Virginia first. We got to receive a grant from Spring Point Partners. And this helping us in Virginia to look and remove lead service lines in homes. The thought process behind that was to get with the water service first and the locality so that they can apply in Virginia. Then we would help the homeowner remove any lead service lines that they have in the home. So that is something that we are looking to do, and we would like to make that more broad and throw the net out from Delaware to Florida. But with small resources, we're going to start in Virginia first and see how that goes. Then we also, if anyone is on the call or know of anyone that's interested in becoming a water and wastewater operator, there is a need for folks like that. So we are also working with Mount Rogers Community College. I hope I got that right.
It was a Mountain Empire.
And Mrs. Cook, Mount Empire. I don't know why I want to call them Mount Rogers all the time. Thank you, Kenny. So Mount Empire Community College, they have an online class, so you don't even have to leave your house. You can become a water operator if you happen to looking for other opportunities, and we will assist you with that. So we do have that, and the person here in our office is Joseph Brown. If you want to reach out and contact him about that, that is a need. People are retiring in that field, and we need to make sure we secure a pipeline of folks to come into that field of work, that line of work. It's beautiful.
And you'll always have a job.
Right. That's right. And you make it work for us.
All right, folks. So our next question is, does SERCAP participate in the Martin Luther King Day of Service in January of each year? And excuse me, and I'm going to field this one. We have in the past, a long time ago, done a little work on MLK Day. Recently, we haven't. However, if this is something that our friends and partners and supporters are interested in, we can look into doing a project for MLK Day moving forward. I suspect this year it would be a virtual project as opposed to an in-person volunteer project, but maybe in 2022, we could look into doing an in-person volunteer project.
And Lauren, that'd be really good to kind of let Beth know to have her new hire for the VFC, Alana, to start thinking about that. I think that's a really good point, and thank you for bringing that up.
And to add to that, Lauren, we do, any chance we get, we provide that opportunity. In North Carolina, there's a town that's actually was named after Martin Luther King, and it was called Kingstown. They have a celebration every year on MLK Day, and then they have another one in the summer, but they actually invited SERCAP to be a part of it, and Hope come down and they give her a key to the city and all that great stuff. So yeah, any opportunity that we get to help promote that community and to be a part of these celebrations, it's very important to us that we're not there just to do a project. We're there to be a part of the community, and we wrap ourselves into it that we're there. So yeah, that is a great point.
All right, moving on. Our next question is going in a slightly different direction. While both broadband and water wastewater infrastructure upgrades are expensive, why does it appear that Congress will not make these needs a higher funding priority? E.g., in the stalled out national infrastructure bill, which stresses highways, bridges, Amtrak, and airports.
So we're getting into the Congress. All right. So I don't know where to go with that one, but I will say that has been an issue that our national office has pressed. We also prepared a document for the transition team, specifically speaking about broadband and upgrades to that as well. But we also know that highways and other infrastructure needs are just as important, but broadband is also important, and I think it's because of the cost. Well, everything takes money, but that is something that we're looking for, and I believe this current administration has placed money. At least I believe I read something from USDA that there was some investments going towards broadbands in rural America. I just don't know how far or if the money has been dispersed or spent yet, but we still have a long way to go. And for those of us that live on this 81 fix, so we can get to Virginia Tech safely, every time I go on that little stretch from Roanoke to Blacksburg, it's like is so tight, and it's dangerous actually driving there, that I'm really glad that my son didn't go to Virginia Tech, because I was like, oh, I'm praying for you if you have to go up there. But we need our roads, we need our bridges. We just had a major event happen here in Salem, Virginia. I don't know if any of you know about it, but a train collapsed and dumped tons of coal in our river. And that's going to take a while to clean. So yes, we do need Congress to upgrade the bridges, the dams, the broadband, because these are infrastructure and things that don't get noticed until something happens. You never thought that you would have a flood until a water line main breaks. And that's the time that they start fixing it. So we don't need to be in response to an emergency. We need to be proactive and make sure that that doesn't happen. That bridge breaking should never have happened. Anyone else want to speak about the funding? Or
Well,
how
I know in North Carolina, along with national funding, they have put a lot of money into broadband, even on the national level and the local level. State representatives have put a lot into broadband to reach out to rural communities. The problem that they're faced with in North Carolina is the way the legislation is wrote and has been on the books for years. A very, very small handful of companies can actually get a hold of that funding. So, you know, there's money sitting there to do this, but there's nobody that will have the opportunity to extend these services. So there's a push in North Carolina right now of, you know, rewriting legislation to allow the opportunities for these agencies to come in and tap these grant dollars. You know, there's so much grant dollars for broadband right now that for them to come in and get that. So that's another thing, is check with your local legislation to say, you know, hey, where are we at? How can we get this here? So that's a big push right now.
And I think some of it goes back to what I was saying before. It's the populations. The rural populations are smaller, but the capital costs are not necessarily as small in proportion to the size of the population. So funding is going to go where it does the most good for the most people, where it has the most visibility for the people who are allocating the funding, because after all, they do want to get reelected. You know, and it's going to go to the population centers sometimes more so than the rural areas where fewer people benefit. That doesn't mean those rural people need it any less. There's just fewer of them, but they're going to put the money where they get the most bang for the buck.
Yeah, I don't mean to steal so fabulous Lauren sent us all some questions she wanted us to know that we were going to be talking about. And one of them was, you know, what you can do if you're interested in this. And I feel like this is already, you know, being informed and talking to your local legislators and saying that infrastructure is a priority and being specific that Hope said it very well. It's not just, it's roads, it's water, it's broadband. And I want to piggyback off of what Jean said just a little bit, is that I often hear, oh, well, you know, rural urban disparities, what does it matter? Everyone's moving to cities anyway. And one thing here at Virginia Tech, we're moving into this, we have this new rural health focus. And even if, now I know you all, everyone who's listening and engaged cares, but even if you hear people say, oh, what does it matter? Everyone lives in cities. Where do all of our resources come from? Where does your food come from? Where does your energy come from? Where does your lumber come from? It's all coming from rural America, right? That's one thing that makes our country really awesome, is that we have this, and we have to not only have those resources, but have to have a healthy workforce and people living there as custodians, working that, getting us those. So we really are all in it together. There isn't, sometimes I feel as though, and I'm no politician or student of politics, but that we see things as, oh, it's an urban, it's a rural issue. These issues of resources and community building are just American issues. We all benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is, what new initiatives is SERCAP planning to undertake in the new year? And have we considered working with funding partners to maximize resources? And Hope, I believe you already touched on this a little bit, speaking about our partnership with the Virginia Environmental Endowment on the septic pump out program, and with Spring Point Partners on the lead service line replacement program and the water wastewater operator training program.
And the only other thing, Lauren, thank you so much, that I would add is economic development. We're trying to really beef our expertise up on that through our ELI program, and we're going to work with the WealthWorks organization to help folks in Virginia. So we're going to put a lot of things in our toolkit to help people overcome what has happened to us economically, and for those of us that have lost our jobs. So thanks, Lauren, for mentioning that.
And there again, there's also programs specific to each state. We partner with things in Delaware as well as in Maryland. So it may depend on what state you're in, what organization you're partnering with, which we're always trying to widen our networks as much as we can.
Yes.
And a next question from one of our attendees is, repairing septic systems in Virginia with alternative on-site sewage systems with nitrogen reduction may cost $20,000. Are there any grant funds available to homeowners? Yes, we, through our housing program and through our essential and critical needs grant program, we have some grant funds available to assist with alternative septic systems for individual homeowners. They do have to qualify as low to moderate income, so you can contact us for more information about the eligibility income guidelines for those programs. And we like to pair the grant funds available through those programs with our individual household septic loan program, so that they get a partial grant, partial loan solution. And we work with them to do an ability to pay to make sure that their loan repayment is affordable to that individual household or family. And this helps, I think this helps inspire some additional responsibility with the homeowners and the community. They get a little skin in the game through the loan program, and then it helps them become more inspired and excited to take care of their septic system, which we offer septic system maintenance education workshops as part of that septic system pump out program. And we also, our housing department does home maintenance education that helps these new homeowners to learn how to take care of the homes so that they will last long into the future.
And depending on the situation in the community, it's conceivable that someone might be eligible for community development block grant too, but that would be peculiar to an individual region or state. Depends on what's available and where they are.
Good deal.
And also through our loan department, we will provide low interest loans to help with anything that comes in need for new septic systems. But the biggest thing that we are very proud of is that our staff actually donate money every month to a fund to help people that fall outside of the programs, and that's called Water is Life. And if you all on the call want to help or spread the word, we use those funds to help people that are right in the middle or just over and don't qualify, but we can still assist them. And we have helped a lot of people through that fund to bring them access to clean water and to upgrade their septic systems.
And to add a story, as what Hope was talking about, this Water's Life, and one of the situations we had last year that it was able to help a lady. She had worked all of her life and saved up and was able to actually go out and purchase her a single wide mobile home. So she was very proud. She was going to be a homeowner, you know, everything. Well, in the process of setting up and them installing her septic system, somebody had actually run over her tail line of her septic system and crushed it. Well, not knowing who it was and how to repair it, they were not able to give her a closing on her house. So here she was with a brand new single wide mobile home that she was very proud of, that she had saved all her life for, and still had a mortgage payment and not able to live in her home. So she went through the process of a year of renting a house and paying a mortgage on a place she could not even get into and didn't have the money to repair this. So this was brought to us from the local health department, and they said, hey, let us see what we can do. So during the process, we were able to grant her $1,400 to repair her septic system through this Water's Life Fund. And she was able to move into her home. And the joy of seeing that on her face was just beyond words. You know, as I'm a proud, firm believer in, every project has a story, and the story has to be told. And that's what you run into out there. And that's what this Water's Life Fund is able to help people that are in these types of situations. And it's not just a scattered cases. This is rural America. This happens all throughout rural America, as Leanne mentioned. And Leanne, I can't express enough how much I appreciate you saying that, because that is something that's true to my heart. Is, rural America. That's where we were founded on, and we got to take care of rural America.
Agreed.
Our next questions from our attendees. We have, do you have local health department contacts or links to these offices on your website to make it easier for individuals to have that information if needed? Currently, no, we don't. However, as we are revamping the website, that is something we can look to including in the future, is to make those links available. But also, sometimes it's beneficial if folks are having some challenges and need assistance, if they contact us and talk to one of our staff people. A lot of times our staff people can make that connection and introduction and help to ease the transition. So while I think it's definitely would be beneficial to have those links available on the website, I also think it's beneficial for folks to reach out and talk directly to our staff if they're interested in assistance.
And to add to what Lauren said, our staff will make the health department, and I believe this is throughout all 7 states, right? Jean and Randy, you all make the health departments aware, and in Virginia, of what we do so that they can refer you to us. And don't forget the Department of Social Services. They also refer you guys to us. I don't know if anyone on the call knows or is aware that if you don't have running water in your home and you have children in the home, the Department of Social Services can take your child out the house, away from you. So we've had a couple of people contact us and say, hey, can you help us, because they're going to take our kids out the house, and we have put either running water, a new well, or something so that the family can stay together. So water is very important. Just wanted to share that with you all. And Lauren, you're on.
So our next question is there a website link that describes the Virginia Tech program that interfaces with SERCAP? And I apologize. Unfortunately, no, there isn't. But once again, as we revive our website, we will add that to the list of things to be sure that gets included. So there will be more information about that partnership.
And please look for Amy Pemberton in the chat, and Leanne as well. I think they put links there. Look through the chat, guys, and pull that, or we can see if we can get it right, Lauren, and maybe send it out to the folks that attended today. Please use those links so that you can get the information you need.
Yes, we can do that. All right, our next question is specifically for Kenny. It says, Mr. Rogers, you referenced that you are working with Habitat for Humanity. Might that include construction training programs to help build workforce development interest?
Okay, and I answered part of this in the chat, so hopefully everybody can get to read and understand this. So this is our first meeting with the Charlottesville Habitat for Housing. And what we're constantly doing, we're trying to get partnerships to help people with funding and with getting home repairs done. And we had met them before, and we were just meeting with them to explain what SERCAP does. It was one of our kind of our focus group or get to know SERCAP meetings where we covered all the things, all the programs that SERCAP would be able to do. And one of the things we were looking at doing with them is to help them do some repairs and renovations on some of their homes because they were looking to start a home repair program. And one of the other things we wanted to do, we have some additional funding like program income or county funds that we have to spend in that county. So we're always looking for partners that might need just funding to help get a project they're doing, get it taken care of. So we've been doing several things. We're meeting with them to explain SERCAP, meeting with them to tell them we have funding in your area, and to see how we can help them get rural housing done in their region. I do agree with Mr. Davis about the idea of workforce development. We like to have more workforce development also, but we're not in that field just yet of workforce development because we're constantly needing additional workforce. We work with general contractors and contractors doing our home repairs, and that's one of the biggest drawbacks we have. We don't have enough of them, and then we don't have enough that we can actually afford sometimes too, because it gets quite expensive to do home repairs nowadays, and we have a limited funding source, so we have to do the projects that we can afford to do. And so we're always looking for contractors that can come in and work for the rates or within the limits that we have. So that would be my best answer to his question about workforce development and working in the Charlottesville area.
Our next question is, are there limitations on funding or assistance for higher treatment level septic systems? Many homes with septic failures will need treatment level 2 or 3 systems that require ongoing maintenance costs. Is there assistance for the ongoing maintenance, or is support just for the initial installation costs?
Yeah, I can talk to you about that one also. And Hope, correct me on this, our emergency and critical needs grant, that's one of the programs that we've been asking people to make use of when they have a septic system in the ground. It needs to have that routine testing. I think they can get it once a year to do their testing for their facilities. So I would encourage people to get in contact with the Facility Development Department, and that being Angela Whitfield, to find out about the emergency and critical needs grant that will help them get that testing done so that their system stays within the requirements of the installation contract and with the health department. So the emergency critical needs would be the first one. And while I'm talking about that, there was also a question in the chat box from Mr. Tiller talking about septic systems and alternative septic systems. I would encourage him to contact us or DHCD about the particular septic systems they're talking about, because if somebody has an alternative septic system in the ground and it's not working properly, then that would be considered a failed septic system. And the IPR Flex program would be the perfect program to come in and help them with that septic system, provided they are the homeowners and provided they are low to moderate income. We could come in and do the IPR Flex, where we could repair the septic system and, of course, repair things to their home. The IPR Flex does have the lien placed on the property, but it's the best lien I've ever heard of. It's 0 payments, 0 interest for 5 years, and after 5 years, it's released. So it's a forgivable lien, and we like to encourage people to take advantage of that to get their septic system or their wells repaired or replaced for their home.
Thank you, Kenny. I put the information for the essential and critical needs in the chat, and also Lauren was a request to send any program information out as well to the folks on the call. Thank you, Cynthia. And we are really having a great discussion here. I should have brought more coffee or something.
Yeah, mine's sold.
So, okay, so my messages. So I want to also tell you guys that that please keep up with the questions, and please visit our website and just call us if you need to know or want to know anything else about the work that we do. We are really excited about everything that we do. We do care about the people that we work with and that we work for. So it is important to strengthen rural America, and really all of America. We want to get back on track, and we want to especially have clean drinking water. And we want to make sure that everyone is aware of this. People don't talk about what's under the ground until it comes out of it. So we want it to stay up under the ground.
Or they're not concerned about it when it's under the ground and it comes out, and they don't want to see it when it's waste.
Yeah.
Water
in the wrong place at the wrong time is always a problem.
That's right. That's right. And thank you, Jean, for telling me about that, about my messages. So Lauren, anything else?
Well, it looks like we've covered all the questions in the chat box, but I want to circle back around to a question that was mentioned earlier about what can our friends and supporters do to help bring clean, safe drinking water and environmentally sound wastewater facilities to rural communities and their low to moderate income residents. And so thank you all so much for attending, and I'm so excited you were a part of our discussion today. Today is Giving Tuesday, and if you visit our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/SERCAP Water, or you can just, in the Facebook search button, you can look up at SERCAP Water. We should pop up, and you can visit our page. One easy thing to do is you can always like and follow us on Facebook. On Twitter, our handle is also at SERCAP Water. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which has a few really good videos on it right now, but we are currently working on a project where we're going to have some really great community videos coming out over the course of the next year or so. So that's really exciting, about learning more about these rural communities, what their challenges have been and how they've overcome those challenges. So we're really excited that that tool and resource is going to be coming out. So liking, sharing, following us on social media is always very helpful, because that gets the word out and helps other people learn that wastewater is still an issue in the US, even though it's not something that people think about. When you hear about water organizations, they're digging wells in developing nations. It's never talking about the water needs in the US. And we still need water, wastewater infrastructure. There are still approximately 470,000 occupied households in the United States with incomplete indoor plumbing. Basically, they don't have a toilet, is what that means. And that information is from the American Community Survey, which is from the US Census Bureau. So that is a good source of information. And organizations like SERCAP and our RCAP partners, we help to bring these issues out and to educate the public. So sharing and liking our information is always something you can do. But if you are able to, and if you would like to, of course, supporting us today on Giving Tuesday through a donation for the Water is Life Fund is another thing that you can do if you are able to. And you can visit our website or our Facebook page, and there are links available to make those donations if you are available. And if you know somebody who is able to and would be interested in assisting rural communities, you can always give them our information and tell them about SERCAP, because we want to become more visible to the public. We want people to know that these are still issues. My dream is that in the next 3 to 5 years, SERCAP is as much a household name as United Way or the Red Cross. And we need your help in order to do that. The more you share and like and tell people about us, the more people, the more it will spread.
If I could add just one thing to what Lauren just said, too, in terms of just statistics, all those folks, individuals without good drinking water or complete plumbing in their house, that's one part of it. The other part of it is that 87% of the community water systems in this country serve fewer than 10,000 people. So our community work is just as important as the individual work, because they're the systems that have the fewest staff, the fewest professional expertise, and we help to fill in those gaps. So it's all about rural America and low and moderate income folks.
Thank you so much, Jean. And I also wanted to add to what Lauren said. When people reach out, someone actually did reach out and ask if there was a group in Virginia that could help his foundation with bringing water to children or bringing water to Virginians. And that was Chris Long. If most of you follow football, you know about Chris Long. He was an NFL football star, and he actually gave us a grant to put in water stations in a couple of low-income elementary schools, one in Southwest Virginia and one out near Hampton Roads area. And so what it does, if you don't know, if children are not hydrated, they have behavioral problems in schools. So that is something that we learned, and see how important water is. And if you have a child in your home and they're misbehaving, give them a cup of water and say, go sit down somewhere. But all jokes aside, we do want you to know how important water is. And we also help the school here in Roanoke with a water filling station as well. And I want to say it was Hurt Park Elementary School. So that has been studied and proven that having children hydrate throughout the day helps improve their behavioral issues throughout the day. And the last social media plug is Instagram. We are on IG. It's SERCAP Water is Life. So if you don't like any of the others, we got you covered on just about every front. So LinkedIn as well. So you can find us just about anywhere on the web. And thank you again for everything, and just want to say hello to everyone that joined us, that took time out of your busy day to have, this conversation with us here at SERCAP and Virginia Tech.
And we'll just say one more thank you. It is 2 minutes to 11, so we want to be respectful of everybody's time for joining us this morning. And we'll say one more thank you to everyone for joining us, and we look forward to connecting with you again in the future.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for your panelists and expertise. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.